What's up, YouTube? Judge the Circumstance here, and I am now going to show my Golgari pre-release deck and part of the sealed pool. Sorry about the glare. I actually did play this deck, unlike the Rakdos pool that I just showed. But first off, here are the two rares that I pulled that I did not use, and I got a great pool, so I had a lot of usable cards, but Mercurial Chemister and Loxodon Smiter I did not use. And moving on, kind of the big winning cards in my deck, my bombs I guess, were a Desecration Demon and a Deathrite Shaman. These two cards both won me several games on their own. So when I started, was considering playing a Jund deck, splashing some red just so that I could use Augur Spree, Splatter Thug, and a Rixmati Guild Mage, but I decided that my pool in green and black was strong enough that I didn't have to. So I did end up playing just a 18 land deck, 2 Golgari Guild Gates in my pool, plus a Key Rune as an additional mana source, and I never actually had to turn him into a creature to do anything, but kind of the threat of a Death Touch creature did stop a couple of attacks that would have been, I guess, advantageous to my opponent. Now, seeing as this was Golgari, I did try to get some utility out of my graveyard with these spells here. Jared's Orders, which I was able to use several times, mostly to dig up the Desecration Demon. Grizzly Salvage just thinned my deck out a lot, and dumped some scavenge stuff into the graveyard and helped me draw cards that I needed when I was just not seeing what I needed to get off the top of my deck. And Treasured Find, which I really like because 2 mana to get any card. So actually one time someone did actually manage to top deck some removal against an 8/8 Desecration Demon, but I was able to bring it right back the next turn. And then just a few combat tricks that I ran. Chorus of Might, Savage Surge, and Giant Growth, and they all did cast at some point, and they all ended up working out to my advantage. And then I ran 2 enchantments, Stab Wound, which is just a fantastic card in this pre-release. If you have any in your pool and you're able to splash black or have black in your guild colors, you would be doing yourself a disservice not to run every single one that you get. And then Death's Presence, which kind of seems like it may be a terrible constructed card, but it really worked out well for me in this particular pre-release, because when I was playing against the Selesnya deck that had 4 of the tokens created by their promo card, which were 8/8 Vigilances, and they all were getting +1/+1. I also happened to have a Corpsejack Menace out, and a Daggerdrome Imp, which, with all the salvage that I was doing, was basically just getting ridiculously huge and keeping me alive through a lot of really big swings from my opponent, and I was eventually able to swing for lethal using a combination of these 3 cards, plus a couple of these combat tricks to swing for 20 at once. So, I mean, I know there's been a lot of discussion about how this guy is not good, but if you have the scavenge to support him, he can save your neck. And then the rest of the deck was very much creature focused. So I'll just show what I had here. Thrill Kill Assassin. Sometimes I did Unleash, sometimes I didn't, kind of depending on the board state, if I really needed that blocker. because the Death Touch blocker is a really nice deterrent. Sewer Shambler, I mostly ended up scavenging him. He could have been useful, I suppose, if I'd drawn him earlier, but I never seemed to get him in my early hands. Sluiceway Scorpion, great because of the Death Touch, makes it a great blocker, and a actually reasonably priced scavenge cost. Trestle Troll, very nice for the regenerate. I actually played against a Rakdos deck, which was piloted by an extremely talented guy who was also the judge, and we actually both ended up in a mirror situation with Desecration Demons out and Trestle Trolls, so neither one of us could get any damage through, except I had this guy on the board, and was eventually able to win just by abusing that ability. Other creatures I ran, Karaz the Monitor. Scavenge is really expensive, but the format is really slow. There's not a lot of removal, and it takes a long time for people to kill you if they're not in like a good Rakdos deck. So I was actually able to scavenge that a couple times. It would never really be my first choice. Drudge Beetle, I had 2 of these. Not much to say about it. Scavenge is expensive, but it's a 2/2 for 2. I played him, mostly used him as a blocker. Another Trestle Troll, another Drudge Beetle. Archweaver, I really like the Reach Trample and the 5/5. It just makes a great blocking body and eventually a threat with that trample. And the trample did win me a game eventually, actually. And then lastly, a Dreg Mangler, which I think this is probably one of the better uncommons to play for Golgari, because it's a 3-mana, 3/3 haste. And the scavenge is not too ridiculously priced, considering that you get 3 counters out of it. More if you've got the Corpse Jack Menace out, wherever he went. Here. And I did land him, and he did swing through for a lot of damage pretty frequently. But that's the deck that I played. I ended up going 3-0-1, drawing with that judge who we ended up in this situation. Just because our very first game took 40 out of the 50 minutes that were allotted for the round. So I took one game, he took the next, and we ended up drawing. And then the other 3 I was able to win against a Selesnya and a... off the top of my head I forget what the other decks were, but when I remember I'll put it in the comments or something. Anyway, that's my deck. It came together really solidly, and I'm really happy with this pool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.